Hey, Pastor friends, McKay here, and in this video, I'm going to show you the one sentence you need in your sermon to make it genuinely gospel-centered. I haven't met a pastor yet who doesn't want to preach genuinely gospel-centered sermons, but many of us simply are not seeing the impact that we expected or we hoped for in our preaching. And one problem may be that instead of this one sentence that I'm going to show you, we're using buzzwords. We use the word gospel multiple times in a sermon, and that's not wrong. We use the word grace multiple times in a sermon, and again, that is not wrong. Those concepts are at the very heart of what a gospel sermon is. However, the words alone, without the explicit explanation, the explicit concept that we need to communicate, is going to leave the message lacking. Because instead of buzzwords, we need to make this one concept undeniably explicit, absolutely at the epicenter of every message. And that concept is substitution. Substitution is at the very heart of the gospel, from the animal sacrificed in the garden to provide clothing to cover the guilt and shame of Adam and Eve, to the Passover lamb, to the perfect embodiment of the sacrifice of the substitute, Jesus. And that would be the perfect substitute in life as our law fulfiller, and in death as our sentence server. So how do we make this concept of substitution explicit? We do it with one sentence that uses transfer language or exchange language. We see this in Paul, we see this in Peter, we see in 2 Corinthians 5:21, God made him who had no sin to be sin for us so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. Here we have Jesus, the A+ student. We are the failures. We turn with our failure to Jesus and his wounds, and he takes those failures upon himself and serves the sentence for those. He gives us his perfect record of righteousness, his A+. We believe that. We receive that as our new legal standing, our new identity before the law. We're not only legally accepted, but we are relationally treasured, and now we have the indwelling Holy Spirit as a transformational presence in our lives. So much there. But the key is this idea of transfer, of exchange, that is at the very heart of the gospel. And that is what we want to communicate in every single sermon. This is how we are reconciled to God in our justification. This is how we are transformed by God in our adoption and sanctification. 1 Peter 3:18 says, "For Christ also suffered once for sins." And here's how he describes this: the righteous for the unrighteous. Again, to bring you to God, this reconciliation idea, this living in union with Jesus, which is at the very heart and center of the biblical meta-narrative. But you don't have to quote these texts in every sermon. Instead, if you use the Preach 360 online sermon studio, you will learn how to extract a substitutionary focus from any and every text so that every sermon becomes truly and genuinely gospel-centered, because it is cross-tethered and deals with the exchange that reconciles us to God and empowers us now with the indwelling Holy Spirit as we abide in Jesus as our justifier. Okay, there's so much more to say. If you're interested, check out preach360.com and join a community of pastors in over 20 countries across 6 continents. I'm McKay Caston, and I look forward to seeing you again really soon.